Hello and welcome to FF Lifestyle. This is going to be a video about the downsides to just wanting to get big. Yes, it's another fitness video, my friends. In this video, there's going to be a slew of footage throughout B-roll of my years in the gym. I'm just gonna kind of choose it at random. I'm gonna go back in time to any of my old hard drives and just see what type of footage I can find throughout my years of my largest overall size, probably around the ages of 17 to 19, maybe a little bit older than that, when I was at my strongest and my biggest. And I think a lot of it kind of pertains to this video. Now that I just finished a very long cut and I'm sitting at around 185.6 this morning at 5'10" versus 220, which is what most of the B-roll is going to show me at. I've been doing this for 16 years, and a majority of those years were spent in the competitive bodybuilding world and also the competitive powerlifting world. And 16 years later, I have learned quite a bit. Throughout the entire 16 years, the one main goal has been getting swole. You know what I mean? It has been about getting large. And upon recently reflecting on my life decisions, I have kind of backstepped a little bit into a different view of my overall goal in fitness. And this is something that I think plagues the young male mindset, where your only goal is to get large. And I think there are some issues with that mindset and things that I have learned now that I have turned 30 and what I have kind of seen across the board. I want to talk today about the sustainability in that mindset. I've been doing this for 16 years. 16 years. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to get muscular and large. I 100% get it. Maybe the first year you are going to be filled with total euphoria for the first little bit there as the endorphins are going, your testosterone is the highest it will ever be in your life, and you have one main goal, and that is to get huge. And what we tend to do, what I did, was kind of throw everything else out the window. And this is where the problems set in. Problems that I am still recovering from today. Training as heavy as humanly possible. Eating as much as humanly possible to put on size. These can cause issues down the road in the way of injury. I have struggled significantly from injuries in my past where I was very tunnel visioned into not necessarily a functional and strong large physique, but just a large physique. That is where I think the big decider is for me now, being 30, where one of my biggest drives in kind of mixing with the rest of my life these days of being able to adventure and able to run and jump and do these functional things. I'm not talking CrossFit. Don't you dare just say that this is CrossFit, because this is not at all what I'm talking about. As part of my feelings towards the fitness community, I will never be a CrossFitter, I'm sorry. But there is something to be said about being functionally large, strong, fit, and able to jump, run, sprint, and be flexible that I think really goes away. You can focus solely on being large, as I did, for the first portion of your life. But what will begin to happen to you, and the whole point of this video, is as you age, if you continue those habits, your functional ability is going to drastically decrease as you age. And that is what I started to see. What was once a solid metabolism for most people, even people that have a lower metabolism in their teenage years, as primarily a male, this can be for females as well, you're going to be able to eat large amounts of food, and all of a sudden you're just going to continue to grow. But again, the habits that you're creating by just eating as much as you can, training as heavy as you can possibly train all of the time. You're going to be able to do that, and then all of a sudden you're not. And when you begin to not be able to train in that way, these habits that you've formed have actually quickly become bad habits. And the eating that you're doing, as I was doing, all of a sudden just continues to turn more so to a little bit of flab, a little bit of blubber, and all of a sudden you're not really putting on a ton of muscle, but you're building that midsection, and you need to shrink the amount that you're eating. And all of a sudden, that cool size that you've built up becomes, as you're walking around, you can't even go on a bike or a skateboard or anything else. You can't even run around with your kid without huffing and puffing. These things become very evident as you age. There is definitely a best of both worlds. If you are trying to build size, the great way to do it would be your traditional size up, cut down, size up, cut down. And this would be really mitigated by any sort of competition. If you only size up, this is where the bad habits are going to form. And ultimately, if you are not competing consistently, if you are not maintaining a consistent physique, it is probably going to get out of hand. Training heavy is excellent, but you need to also back it down. You need to deload it for a little bit. If you consistently train heavy for years and years and years and years, yes, you'll be able to keep it up, but there will be a time where your body says no more. And that is where injuries come in. And that is not saying that your form has been bad, that you are not training properly, that you are not properly warming up, but inevitably you will get injuries. It's going to happen. If you continually train non-stop heavy, it is going to happen. And one of the primary drivers for this video is I'm seeing a concerning theme in the fitness community, especially among the younger ages. Jump on drugs, train as heavy as you can, always, never not train that way. Train every muscle group 5 times a week, 2 times a week, 3 times a week, until you can't train it anymore. And this quote-unquote motivational mindset is not the move. It is not the sustainable move. If you want to jump down that road, it will be a very short road until the inevitable comes a knocking when you're about 25 to 30 years old. Your maximum amount of testosterone as a male is going to be between the ages usually of 18 to 25. Highest it will ever be naturally. Now, we can increase that as we go and prolong that from dropping by doing nice, heavy compound movements within reason, but again, the deload there is very, very important. Fall back to what the drug world was originally when I first started many years ago, which is unless you are trying to make a job out of competing in the fitness world, I would never recommend jumping on any form of performance-enhancing drugs. And this would also include TRT type treatments that falls into the mindset of I just want to get large, and I have many injuries that cause me to jump on testosterone frequently. Are there benefits to testosterone? Absolutely. But if you are just going on it because of your fitness goals, there are going to be many other things that you're probably not going to think about in the long term. Sustainability. How can you sustain your fitness life? The way that we can sustain that is functional abilities with our body. And being strong and large is still 100% functional, but there is a limit to that. And I think what happens is, at least what happened with myself, is being a natural person, we fall down many bad habits to just get big. I want to fill out an extra large shirt no matter what it takes me to get there. Well, I am not on drugs, so I'm going to need to eat probably an excessive amount to do that. I'm going to need to bulk up my midsection in order to do that. And although, yes, sometimes that is okay to do if we're trying to build up a little bit of size to then cut down. But what tends to happen is we build these bad habits if we're not competing and just try to continue to build up this massive size and throw functional ability out the window. Throw stretching yoga out the window for size. It's not just about size. We take functional with CrossFit, and although the beginning mindset of CrossFit is valid, it becomes this massive midlife crisis thing and way more prone to injury in the path of getting functional. What I am pitching to you today is a middle of the road. You can absolutely still train, we'll call it a normal gym bro split, but you need to remember the functional ability first. You can train heavy, you can be a power lifter, but there's ups and downs to that. You go hard and then you go a little lighter. You go hard, then you go a little lighter. It is very hard for me to kind of get together a lot of my mindset in regards to the fitness world anymore, because I have been so, I don't really watch a lot of fitness channels anymore on YouTube. I'm not really involved in the industry anymore, so I don't know what anyone is talking about. There could be 85 videos of this exact topic that I would have no idea about. So what I'm trying to do with these videos is come at it from a very unique angle, which is the fact that I've been kind of just living in my own head in the fitness world for the past maybe 5 or 6 years. What you're going to get is just what I have seen in my own personal life. Hopefully, some of this will be helpful to you, and hopefully you've enjoyed some fun B-roll back when I did not care about any of that and was listening to one bodybuilding motivational video after another, and I didn't even care if I died as long as I put on 10 extra pounds of solid mass. So hopefully that is helpful to you, and now I'm trying to reverse that and be a more functionally strong and large person. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, stay tuned for more great content coming soon.